Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to yet another video. Today we are ranking the Championship away fans for the 21-22 season. Now before we get into this video, just a reminder, this is my opinion. If you've got a different opinion, then let me know down in the comments and we'll have an argument down there. If you're new to the channel guys, make sure to drop a like on this video, do subscribe, and let's break down this video for you then. So as you can see, it's a tier list again. We've got 5 tiers for you. Let's go through them. We've got class for the best Championship fans, great for the sort of next level Championship fans, decent for the sort of average Championship fans, meh for the not so good Championship fans, and poor for what I think are the worst Championship fans. As you can see, I've got all of the Championship badges scattered across the bottom here, so we're going to go through each team one at a time and talk about them and place them on this tier list. I'm going to take a couple of things into consideration in today's video, one being the distance the fans have to travel, 2 being the numbers that the fans bring, and 3 being the loudness and the noise they make. So let's get started with Hull City. So then, starting with Hull City, obviously promoted from League One last season, and they've had a couple of away days already this season and taken a few fans here and there. It's a tricky one for Hull City, isn't it? I think in League One they'd be in the higher tiers, but in the Championship they're against some big clubs here, and I don't know. I don't think they're poor, but I might just put Hull City in meh. They're in an awkward location, I'll give them that. It's not exactly local to many grounds, and I think when they come to my team, Coventry, they might not bring that many because, like I say, they're kind of tucked away. But I think Hull City's away fans are decent. Just a reminder before we move on to the next one, which is Fulham. This is just away attendances, by the way. Home attendances don't come into this. Obviously, the next one being Fulham Football Club. This is a tricky one. They weren't in the Championship last year. They usually bounce between the Premier League and the Championship, and obviously in the Premier League they'll probably take more numbers because they're going to bigger grounds and things like that. But in the Championship, I don't think Fulham take absolutely masses everywhere. To the London grounds, I'd imagine they usually sell out because it's local, but when they're travelling up north and to the Midlands, I don't know with Fulham Football Club. I'd imagine their support's pretty decent. I think I've seen they've taken a few numbers already to some grounds this season, so I'm going to put Fulham in decent. Fulham fans, let me know what you think. The next club is Reading Football Club, and for me, I'm sorry Reading fans, but it's going to have to be poor. I said the other day when they came to Coventry that I respected the fans that came, but there wasn't many of them. There was under 1,000, and for me, on a Saturday in August, Coventry to Reading isn't exactly far, is it? You know, there's plenty of bigger journeys for Reading this season, and yeah, I think on the opening day as well, they didn't take that many to Stoke. It was like 1,000 or not even that, so I don't know with Reading. I just think at home they have okay support, but on the road they don't really have very good support at all, so I'm going to put them in poor. Next up is Barnsley Football Club, and this is a tricky one for me because I feel like whenever they play a game in Yorkshire, they'll always sell out because it's obviously local, and I think when they do, it's fantastic. You know, if they go to Bramall Lane or Hillsborough or something like that, they'll take loads, and it's great to see that many Barnsley fans. But obviously, when they go on the road a bit further than that, when they come to the Midlands, when they go to Lancashire, when they go down to London, the away support isn't as good, obviously, but it's not bad. I'd say Barnsley support, I'd say it's decent. I think Barnsley's support's decent on the road. I don't think they've got the biggest following on the road, but it's not one of the worst. Next up are Nottingham Forest, and we've already seen this season when they've come away to Coventry, Derby, Stoke. I know they're local-ish grounds, but they still take thousands everywhere, Forest do. So for me, this is a no-brainer. Nottingham Forest are going in class. I think Nottingham Forest away fans are class. I think they're pretty class at home as well, but yeah, on the road Forest always do take big numbers, so they're going in class for me. Next up, Blackburn Rovers, and yeah, I think they've got a pretty decent away following. I'm looking forward to them coming to the Rico to see what they're about. I think they'll bring over 1,000. They're kind of like a decent standard of Championship fans, not the best, but they're decent. So do you know what? I'm going to say they're better than decent. I'm going to say Blackburn's fans are great, actually. I'm going to put them in great. I think they've got some good away fans, and yeah, they can make some noise. Next up, we go to Sheffield United, and despite a poor start to the season, they always do take thousands everywhere. They're very well supported. So are Sheffield Wednesday, to be fair. I think both Sheffield clubs are very well supported at home and on the road. But yeah, Sheffield United is the team we're talking about, and I'm going to also put them in class. I think there's going to be very few away days where they don't take many fans this season. So yeah, I'm looking forward to them coming to the Rico. Next up are Bristol City, and Do you know what? I think Bristol City have got some great fans, to be fair. I've seen them on the road a few times. I've been to see them a few years ago in the FA Cup when they played West Brom at the Hawthorns, and they were absolutely fantastic. They were pouring onto the pitch when they scored, and obviously I've seen them when they played my team, Coventry. They're good numbers. I remember in League One, they were really good numbers for League One, but even in the Championship, I think Bristol City have some really great fans. So Bristol City are going to be in the great tier for me. The next team, Cardiff City. Oof. I might have to put them on a level with Bristol City, you know. They're both obviously in a sort of similar location. They're both sort of to the southwest of the country. And other than when they play Swansea, Cardiff and Bristol, it's a bit of a journey for the other games. And yeah, fair play to Bristol City and Cardiff. But yeah, Cardiff are the team we're talking about. I think they do take decent away numbers everywhere. So yeah, I'll put Cardiff in great. Next up are Huddersfield Town. And I had to do my research for Huddersfield Town because I didn't know what to think. I've never seen their fans come to the Rico. And I'm going to have to say, great. I think Huddersfield do have very good numbers. Once again, a bit like Barnsley, when it's a Yorkshire away day, they'll take absolutely thousands. But I think on the road, outside of Yorkshire, they're also quite heavily supported. So yeah, I think Huddersfield Town have got some great away fans. Next up are Luton Town. And if someone had said to me 5 years ago that Luton Town would be in the Championship, I wouldn't have believed them, to be honest. And if I would have believed them, then I wouldn't have thought their fans would be that good. Because for me, like I say, 5 or 6 years ago, they were in the lower leagues, weren't they? But Luton Town have really done well. And you know what? Their fans are quite underrated. So I'm going to put Luton's away fans in decent. They're nearly in great. I'm just going to put them in decent for now, though, because I think Luton Town do travel in good numbers, especially to the local grounds. They'll obviously take thousands to the grounds in London, and the ones in the Midlands aren't exactly far. But yeah, Luton Town, quite well supported. Next up are Millwall Football Club, and oof. I'm kind of torn between decent and great for Millwall. I'm going to put them in decent. I think Millwall's away fans are pretty decent, to be fair. I think at home they're really great. They do create a really intimidating atmosphere for the away fans. And yeah, I'm going to go to Millwall away in September, so I'm looking forward to that. But I'm looking forward to Millwall fans coming to Coventry as well. I think Millwall are always an exciting bunch, aren't they? They're going to bring a rowdy lot from London, and yeah, they're decent fans. Nearly in the great tier, but I'm just going to put them in decent for now. Next up is Middlesbrough Football Club, and I'm tempted to go for class, but I'm just going to put them in great. I do think you've got to take a lot into account for Middlesbrough, one of them being location. They're right up in that northeast section of the country, aren't they? So other than if they're playing Sunderland, Newcastle or even Hull, I mean, they're not exactly local either, but there's nothing too local for Middlesbrough. Everything's a bit of a mission to get to, isn't it? So when you see them bringing over 1,000 to grounds in London or in the Midlands, even on a Tuesday night, you've got to take your hats off to them and say, bloody hell, Middlesbrough, you travel in numbers from a distance. So yeah, they're great fans on the road. Next up are QPR, and I might just go for meh. If there's any QPR fans watching, do let me know if I'm being a bit harsh there, or if you're feeling honest and think I'm being fair, then do say. But yeah, I don't think I've heard too much about QPR's fans on the road being amazing. Not that they're terrible, but I don't think they're amazing. They don't exactly travel in masses of numbers. Obviously, it's a London ground, so when they're going up north, it is a bit of a mission. I'll give them that. But yeah, QPR on the road, meh. Next up, Stoke City, and I'm going to say they're great. I think Stoke City's fans are pretty decent. Obviously, once again, it does help being in the Midlands, but yeah, I think Stoke City do usually travel in numbers on the road, even if it is quite far away. And yeah, I'll give them that. They do make a bit of noise, so Stoke City's fans are great. Next up are Birmingham City, and this is incredibly easy for me. They are class on the road, honestly. It's a weird one for me, because I think if you compare Birmingham City's home support to their away support, I think they're okay at home. They don't exactly sell out. They're not terrible, but they don't exactly sell out, do they? But on the road, they always do seem to sell out. They take absolutely thousands everywhere, whether it be up north, down south, east, west. They travel in numbers. Once again, it is easier to travel in numbers when you live in the Midlands, but I'm not going to take anything away from Birmingham City. I think their fans are amazing. They're loud, they travel in numbers, and they are, some of their chants. I just think they're really good Birmingham fans, and I'm looking forward to them coming to the Rico this season. Next up, Blackpool Football Club, and despite them just coming up from League One, I'm actually going to say they're decent. I think Blackpool have travelled in some decent numbers already this season. They've taken a couple of fans here and there. They've had a couple of journeys to get to. Bristol City isn't exactly local. They took a few down there. AFC Bournemouth isn't exactly local. They took a few down there. So fair play to the Blackpool fans that do travel. I think their away support could be really important this season if they do pick up some big results on the road. So yeah, I think Blackpool's fans are decent on the road. Next up are AFC Bournemouth, and I don't know a lot about their away support. I've read up on their numbers. They're okay, but I'm going to put AFC Bournemouth in meh. They're not exactly a massively supported club. That might be me being a bit harsh on them. You'll have to let me know down in the comments. But yeah, I think AFC Bournemouth's fans aren't exactly the worst on the road, but they don't exactly travel in massive numbers, do they? The next club, Derby County, and yeah, once again, I'm going to have to go for class. Derby County's fans are pretty decent on the road. A bit like Forest in a way. They're both East Midlands, but they both travel in masses of numbers, and Derby County can make a lot of noise as well. So, yeah, for me, Derby County going class. Next up are Coventry City, and oof, do you know what? A lot of the time, I'm not biased towards my own team, but when it comes to our away support, I might just have to give us the edge, and some people are going to think this is extremely biased, but I'm going to say Coventry City's fans are class on the road. I think at home, yeah, you can poke holes at us and say we don't exactly fill the Rico out, but on the road, you've got to take into account the amount of stuff that Coventry have been through. So many fans boycott the games because of the owners and the turmoil at the club, but still Coventry City fans turn out in numbers to so many away days. We obviously took over 2,000 to Barnsley, which wasn't too bad. We took about 1,500, nearly 2,000 to Blackpool on a Tuesday night. That's really good. We took over 2,000 and sold out at QPR the other day. I think you're going to find Coventry City will sell out quite a few away days this season. So if you're obviously a fan of these other Championship clubs, do look forward to Coventry City coming to your ground, because I can tell you, we're going to make a bit of noise this season. Next up, Peterborough United obviously came up from League One last year, and I'm being harsh here. I'm going to say they're actually poor. Once again, if there's any Peterborough fans watching, do let me know if I am being mean. I think comparing to Hull and Blackpool, I could just imagine Hull and Blackpool are going to take more numbers. I think they're better supported clubs on the road especially. And yeah, Peterborough, you know, salute the fans that do travel away, but I don't think they're exactly massive numbers. And I don't know if I've ever really heard that Peterborough fans have been loud. So it's an unknown one for me, so I'm putting them in poor just because I'm not very sure. Next up are Preston North End, obviously in Lancashire, and I'm tempted to go decent, but I'm actually going to go meh. I feel like Preston North End don't strike me as a club that have a massive away following. I think if you compare them to the likes of Blackburn, I can just envisage Blackburn taking more away fans. I think Preston, especially if they have a rough season this year, they might not have many fans travelling on the road. But yeah, I'm going on the fact that I don't know a lot about Preston fans. I'm willing to be proved wrong. Obviously, when they come to the Rico, I'm willing to be proved wrong. I hope they bring quite a few. But yeah, I've seen Preston come to the Rico once before, and it wasn't an amazing following. Next up are Swansea City, and Swansea, yeah, they're pretty decent, aren't they? I think I'll put them in decent. I think Swansea's fans are decent. I think, once again, you do have to take into account that their ground and their location is obviously tucked away in South Wales. But yeah, they do take good numbers to Cardiff and Bristol. And yeah, on the odd occasion, they might take quite a few thousand to a different ground as well. But yeah, Swansea's fans are decent for me. The last club is West Bromwich Albion, and I'm also going to have to go for class. West Brom for me are always going to travel in good numbers, whether it's in the Premier League or Championship. They've got some very loyal fans there. They make a lot of noise. They'll be chanting "The Lord's my shepherd," which is a chant I really rate. And yeah, like I say, a lot of noise, good numbers, and I'm putting West Bromwich Albion in class. One thing I have noticed, guys, is I have put a lot of the Midlands clubs in class. So a question to you guys in the comments: do the Midlands have the best fans? Let me know down below, or am I just being biased? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, guys. Make sure to drop a like on this video. Let's get 100 likes for this one. Do subscribe to the channel if you are new, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.